Hey everybody and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to look at this new Nightwing trade paperback. Hey everybody and welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent Casina. And before we get into this Nightwing trade paperback, if you like this kind of stuff, help me out by helping the channel grow and subscribing. Helps the channel grow, lets you know when I drop new videos, all that good stuff. So, Nightwing. This is Nightwing by Peter J. Tomasi. I don't know why it's J. Tomasi. It's always been Peter Tomasi, but whatever. Maybe there's another writer by Peter Tomasi, but this is called Guardian of Gotham, even though on the spine it says Nightwing by Peter J. Tomasi in pretty big letters. It's got beautiful art in here by Rags Morales, Don Kramer, and Doug Mahnke. This is pre-New 52 era, so this takes place, this is like the last 13 or 14 issues of that New 52, or pre-New 52 series. So this is the last couple, last year or so of the original Nightwing volume 1. This contains Nightwing number 140 through 153, and it's all written by Peter J. Tomasi here. So this takes place right after the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. So inside this volume you don't have tie-in issues, but they do reference at the end, like one of these was a Batman R.I.P. storyline. The stuff with Two-Face later in the storyline all had a Batman R.I.P. tag on it. And then the last couple of issues have like Last Rites or the Faces of Evil. So that lets you know that these are the last issues where Dick Grayson is Nightwing and Tim Drake is Robin in these kind of offshoot. Here's Bruce right here as Batman before he takes over as Batman in the Batman and Robin series by Grant Morrison. But I remember getting hyped about this run when it was announced. I remember reading a Newsarama profile about Rags Morales. This was like, I think it was the first run he was going to do after Infinite Crisis had come out, where he was like, I'm going to focus on the artwork and focus on the book, and his stuff does look fantastic here. I'm not going to downgrade him, but, he did have, obviously he didn't do the entire run. He does the first couple of issues here, but pretty quickly, by the fourth issue, I think, maybe we have a new artist. Yeah, this is this one here. This is Rags, and then we go to Don Kramer with a Rags Morales cover, no doubt, but this is Don Kramer. Now, Don Kramer, I had, discovered when I was reading Detective Comics by Paul Dini, and I really grew to love his art, and I still love it here. So I think he's a fantastic artist. He was doing some JSA stuff long before he did the Detective Comics run with Paul Dini. I don't know what he's doing now, honestly. I don't know if he got picked up by the Comicsgate wave and never to work again in mainstream comics, or maybe he was an older gentleman and retired. I have no idea. But here's an issue with both of those guys doing the artwork. And then later on, you have Doug Mahnke doing some fill-ins. I really feel like Doug Mahnke and Don Kramer do a nice job of, not blending their styles by any means, but their styles at the time complement each other. Who's this? More Don Kramer. I guess Doug Mahnke only does maybe one issue in the back over here. Here's more Rags Morales. So I guess it's more Rags than Don Kramer and Doug Mahnke, which is perfectly fine. The fun part is that Don Kramer had also done half of the Face to the Face book that happened post 1 year later in the Batman books. I don't know if he did the Batman side or the detective side, but he had basically, during Batman Hush, Harvey Dent had his face fixed, and Harvey Dent was chosen to be the pseudo Batman of Gotham, while Bruce and Dick and Tim took like a year off in the 52 storyline. And post that, it drove Harvey nuts again, and he re-scarred his face in the Face-to-Face storyline. So if you haven't read that, go find that. And then this is kind of a follow-up, to that. This is like the next time we had seen Two-Face after that Face-to-Face storyline. And this is his last, pre-New 52 appearance, because once you have this, I think Final Crisis comes, and Batman and RIP and Final Crisis all kind of happened at the same time. This got canceled, and as well as everything, and then you have not even that, but Dick became Batman, and then that went on for a while. I don't think we saw Two-Face for a long time after this storyline. I thought it appeared that he had died or something like that. Here's Doug Mahnke at the very end. So maybe not as big of a blend as was thinking, but Doug Mahnke at this point in time, he was doing this, he was doing Black Adam. He's a fantastic artist, don't get me wrong. But yeah, maybe this is the Faces of Evil storyline. No, this is the Face of Evil. There's Ra's al Ghul. So this is a month they did. It was in a January, I think, and basically every book had a Faces of Evil typography down here, and they were spotlighting a villain. So you would have this iconic villain on the cover, and they would go up against that villain right here. So this, you can tell, this is Dick in front of the bat suits. He's talking about, what happened to Bruce in Batman R.I.P., and you can go read that there. But he doesn't actually pick up the mantle until after this issue, and there's even a moment here in this final issue in 153 where him and Dick and Nightwing, Dick, and Tim, Drake, Robin, and Alfred are all kind of talking about Bruce being gone and stuff like that. No appearance of Damian, however. And then the issue ends. This is kind of like a recap of everything that's gone on. There's some Joe Bennett artwork in here, and this Blackest Night thing, that is looming as the next big crossover once he takes over as Batman. And then that is the end of Volume 1, and then you have the New 52 with Eddie Barrows and Kyle Higgins taking over, doing Nightwing over there. So I remember liking these stories. I do remember really liking this Two-Face. The Two-Face story is maybe it's 4 or 5 issues, and I really, really liked that. The stuff beforehand, I think, was, just kind of a regular Nightwing story. If you were reading Nightwing before then, it kind of went along those lines. He very rarely went up against any Batman villains at that point, and until this Two-Face one. Maybe here and there, but he was always trying to find other things to do. They were always trying to find other villains for him to go up against. I think he's living in Bloodhaven at this point. He was living in the Cloisters. This Cloister thing was supposed to be a new place for him to pop up out of. He fought some wing guys, I think. Here is the main storyline in this first arc. And I just remember it being lots of fun. And a cool artist, lots of cool art, which helps a lot if the storyline's not super fantastic. I think art and story in comics makes for the best combination. Oh, KG Beast is in there? I forgot. Anyway, I think it's fun. It's Nightwing after all. He's a pretty fun character. But I do gotta say, the Don Kramer art, I am just so excited to reread some Don Kramer stuff in a real format here. So most excited for that, for Don Kramer, because I think he's underrated. Rags Morales has Identity Crisis to get his royalty checks from, as they keep that in print and keep reprinting that. Doug Mahnke's now got Final Crisis and a bunch of other stuff he's doing. He's still regularly working. That helps a lot. And Don Kramer kind of he disappeared off the face of the earth, I think, after the New 52. I don't remember him doing any fill-ins or anything with the New 52, so I haven't seen him on any DC stuff in 10 years. I don't know about Marvel, so I will go search that out. But I think he's definitely an underrated artist. He's very, very good. I really, really like his stuff. So it's kind of a bummer that, he's no longer working, at least visibly, on any major books. So, but yeah, I think this is a worthwhile collection that retails for $30, and you're getting 14 issues here, so that's not that bad. The paper quality is nice. It's very kind of regular glossy paper. It's not super thin, which is nice too. So I feel like this book is going to hold up more than, what was the last book I did this? It's not as thick as that House of M Ultimate Edition I looked at. But it's not this weird matte paper that they reprinted those Justice League books on in the box set. that I did a few months back. I returned those suckers. Those were awful. So yeah, this should hold up quite nicely to a couple rereads. So that's excellent. So there you have it. Nightwing, Peter J. Tomasi, some fun stories. I definitely think this is worth picking up and checking out for the Two-Face storyline, and the end of the last rites and the Batman RIP stuff is probably the best part of this, but I think you're still going to have some fun looking at Rags Morales and Don Kramer and whatever that Wing storyline was in the very beginning. But I think it's definitely worth checking out for that Two-Face piece. So let me know what you guys think of this era of Nightwing down below in the comments, and we will see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.